May I come in?
Yes, come in.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Please be seated.
Thank you.
Are you fully vaccinated?
Yes, sir.
You may remove your mask.
Thank you, sir.
Please give a brief introduction about yourself.
Sir, myself Pulkit. I belong to Saharanpur district. I did my 10th standard in 2013 from Saharanpur and 12th in 2015. Then I did my BTech in computer science from NIT Allahabad and passed in 2019. Then I did a job in software company for 1 year. Then I'm preparing for civil services.
Why did you leave your job, software company?
Because from starting the college onwards, I was having this neck towards civil services. I did a job to get some financial stability, and after that, I quit the job.
Don't you think that private sector offers you a much more lucrative salary than what you will be getting in the government sector? Perks are more, a lot of freedom, postings are in metropolitan cities, whereas in the civil services you are posted in semi-urban areas, rural areas, and so on and so forth. So why did you, these ideas did not occur to you that once you become a part of the civil services, then you will have to be facing, and more than you, your family will be facing all these hardships?
No, sir, actually it is not. It is less of hardship and more of public service. When I was doing the job, though it is good, the perks are good, but it is more confined to an individual. You are just working as a taxpayer of the country. But when you are in public service, you give much more to the country, which I believe I can do in a much better sense and get a very high value from my life.
Okay, so you are very passionate about joining the civil services because you want to serve the society in your own little way. Now tell me, Pulkit, there is a problem of unemployment in our country.
Yes.
Isn't it? Even the International Labour Organization in its report has mentioned that unemployment is rising in India. It stands somewhere in the range of 4 to 5% and all that. Suppose if you want to create more jobs, offer more employment, then how will you go about it? What plan of action you will initiate to ensure that in coming 5 years, this problem is redressed to a large extent?
There are two aspects of this unemployment sector. One is we need to, as per Amartya Sen, we need to do two things. There is capacity and the opportunity. So in terms of capacity, we need to introduce skills. We need to introduce skills through Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana and all such stuff. And at the same time, we need to increase the manufacturing base with a labor intensive approach like food processing industries, which are very much labor intensive, so that skills and the labor together can make this country to the path of employment.
Whose job is to create employment? Is the state government or the central government?
So both the governments together need to inculcate the unemployment problem along with the private sector.
How are you going to woo female of or women of Uttar Pradesh to have to develop soft skills and your technical skills?
So can you please repeat
The
that?
women of Uttar Pradesh, particularly rural areas, they are engaged mostly in labor force. Now we discussed about skill development and all that. How will you ensure that they are withdrawn from that sector and put to use in the skill development sector where they acquire some technical knowledge and some leadership skills? So how will you ensure that?
Sir, we can make use of self-help groups. We can make use of ITIs so that more employment and more skills can be generated. At the same time, there is a program known as Sangha Reddy program in Andhra Pradesh. So there what they do is that the children are taught in the schools and the children teach their mothers and the girls of their house. So in that manner also, for the family cohesion, we can generate skills, we can generate soft skills, and which will be helpful for the women of the rulers.
Okay, thank you very much.
Pulkit.
Yes.
So you are the student of sociology.
Yes.
Give one idea about the social reforms, what you would like to give any kind of suggestion to government, one suggestion, only one suggestion.
Sir, one of the major issue on which social reform is important is caste system, which still exists in the society.
So you want to remove it?
Yes, though caste system in the constitution is removed through the articles 15, 16, 17 and all those articles, but still casteism as an ideology still exists at manifest level and at latent level also. So that is one idea which should be removed from the society.
Okay. Regarding judicial reforms, give one suggestion and why.
Though there are several issues judiciary is facing.
Only one.
Okay. So one of the major, the first issue should be to improve the vacancy, which is very high in judiciary, like 34% in 25% in lower judiciary, 34% in higher judiciary, and 1 or 2 in Supreme Court. So that is one reform which should be taken up front and should be.
One reforms regarding police reforms.
Still, we are having a lot of issues, but regarding police reforms, we can implement the Prakash Singh judgment.
Okay. Regarding election reforms, give one suggestion.
We need to remove the criminalization of politics, which is very high in the country, and what we can do is we can implement the Lily Thomas judgment in deterrent spirit, and secondly we can go for state election funding.
Regarding economic reforms.
Economic reforms, we need to improve the manufacturing base if we want to be sustainable in the long run.
Why you want to be an SDM?
Because the major motive behind civil services is public service, and as an SDM I can serve the public at large with all my expertise.
Why not NGOs? Because right now it has a broader area.
So NGOs also give you a lot of diversity in terms of working. I did work with NGOs while I was working as software engineer also, but NGOs will not give you job security along with the public service.
Thank you. Thank you, Pulkit.
Pulkit, can you tell me something about National Monetization Pipeline or National Monetization Corporation?
Yes, ma'am. National monetization refers to, it is not equals to disinvestment. It refers to giving the assets of the state in terms of a renting process. So National Monetization Pipeline was introduced in 2021, and it is in 2021-24 we are having National Monetization Pipeline, in which core brownfield assets will be given to the private companies for some time, and revenue will be generated, so that revenue will be used for capital infrastructure generation. And in that we are having road infrastructure in the first place, then railways, then ports and power sector, and so on.
What have been certain challenges that have been pointed out by the experts for this pipeline?
Right now we don't have the level of assets which are required as per the experts. As per the government, we need 15%, which is around 15 lakh crore, which should be monetized as per National Monetization Pipeline, but we still have 6%, that is 6 lakh crores. That is less than the target value. Secondly, the core assets are majorly with the state public service enterprise, public sector enterprises, which require a long bureaucratic process to get it done with the.
Okay. Program has been run by by the government in Noida, which is Wasteland to Wetland. Are you aware of it?
Wasteland to Wetland?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not aware of the program which is run by Noida, but it is basically converting the wasteland into the wetlands.
What exactly is a wetland?
As per FAO, it is an area of more than 1 square kilometer, of a radius of 6 or 7 meters and a depth of 3 or 4 meters, which is immersed in water most of the times.
Okay. Is it a kind of transition zone between terrestrial and aquatic?
Yes, ma'am. That's why it serves a lot of biodiversity, and in India we are having around 4.5% of area as wetland.
Okay, can you name some of the wetlands in Uttar Pradesh?
Yes, the recent one are Bakhira wetland and Hyderpur wetland, and we are having Keetham wetland. We have Upper Ganga wetland. They are some of the wetlands.
Right. You come from Western UP.
Yes, ma'am.
And as a resident of UP, you must have noticed that there are certain differences between eastern and western part of the UP. Can you tell me the differences and if you find any reason for those differences?
Yeah, the major difference is the agriculture,
Mm-hmm.
which is Western UP was the part of Green Revolution.
Right.
So that's why the agriculture in Western UP is highly mechanized, and in terms of productivity is very high. And in terms of Eastern UP, we have feudal system,
Mm-hmm.
not feudal system as such, but feudalist mode of agriculture.
Agriculture.
And
right.
we are having less productivity. That's why the difference
It's
is
mostly
existing.
subsistence.
Yes, ma'am.
It is. Okay. And any other difference?
In terms of Western and Eastern UP, Western UP is more of trading, and Eastern UP is more of government services.
Yeah, Western UP is more of?
More trading in nature. Trading towns are there. More of manufacturing is there.
Okay.
And Eastern UP is more of services, basically government
So
services.
economy, agriculture, then any other facet that differs in both the places, Eastern and Western? Culturally, historically, anything?
Historically, we can say in the Western UP was more affected by partition. Eastern UP was less affected by partition.
Okay. My last question to you. We see a really low participation rate of females in India in politics. So much so that we have not had a really successful women's movement in India. If you look at the representation of women or they're being politicized. Why is it so that in India women are not into politics at all?
As per the recent data, we are having 9% of 9% of women in politics in parliament,
Mm-hmm.
and it is very high in Panchayati Raj because of the reservation we have.
Reservation, right?
So globally we are having the percentage of 22% average. And in terms of why it is low, so there are a lot of reasons. First is family support. Family does not support women to go into politics, which is very unstable in terms of their career. Secondly, women still patriarchy exists at a very high level, and women is still believed to be submissive and not a decision maker but decision taker. And women itself are not very much aware about the politics in terms of they are not educated in such a manner that they should be entered into the politics.
Do you really think that education is mandatory, obligatory for being into politics? Or we also have had tribal politics, we have had Dalit politics, and education is not something which is essential for politics, right?
Yes,
It
ma'am.
is something else which is needed for politics. Okay, carry on. Other reasons?
I am aware of these reasons.
Okay, thank you.
You see, patriarchy is a much maligned word. Do you think everything is bad in patriarchy?
Sir, patriarchy as a term is negative, as having negative connotation.
Can you see anything positive in it? Anyways, UP of late is giving a push or a great thrust in the infrastructure sector. A lot of expressways are coming up, getting commissioned. Dedicated freight corridor is also passing through the entire state. And there's a talk of introduction of bullet train and all that in the times to come. Do you think all these infrastructural activities are going to give a real thrust to the economic development of the UP to the extent that just now we have discussed the differences between Eastern and Western, those differences will go away?
Yes, sir. In terms of infrastructure and expressway, we are going at a very fast pace. We are having Bundelkhand Expressway, we are having Purvanchal Expressway, and we are having Meerut Prayagraj Expressway. Infrastructure as such is having a lot of multiplier effect. 1% of investment in infrastructure creates a 3% of GDP. So, as per the government policy, we are developing a lot of infrastructure, and yes, in times to come, it will give a lot of employment, it will give a lot of connectivity to transportation, it will give a lot of manufacturing base, and it will solve a lot of problems and a lot of differences which are there present in Eastern and Western UP.
Thank you very much. It was nice talking to you. Your interview is over.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. May I come in?
Come. Please sit down.
Thank you, sir.
So, how was your experience?
I was speaking very fast.
Is it your natural style?
I was giving such kind of interview for the first time. That's why I was not aware that I speak so fast.
It's okay. If it is your natural style, I will not like you to curb that style. As long as you are engaging, as long as you are getting engaged in intelligent talk and meaningful talk, it doesn't matter. You are quite audible, you are quite clear, your communication skill is wonderful, there is absolutely no doubt about it. You could communicate whatever was there in your mind. So your thought process and your speaking process, there is a strong coordination between the two. So absolutely no problem. So that is your plus point, in fact. So you could communicate very freely, frankly, and whatever you wanted to say, you said in a most lucid way.
Thank you, sir.
That is number one. Number two, overall performance, we will rate you excellent.
Thank you, sir.
So very good performance. This is going to be your first interview.
Yes.
Okay, and which attempt is this?
UPPSC first attempt.
First attempt itself. And other examinations also you have taken?
Yeah, UPSC I am giving 4th attempt mains this time.
Okay, okay. But you are a good candidate. Even UPSC, if you are able to qualify, you will be getting good marks in the interview. I have no doubt in my mind. So you are a young man, a man of integrity, a lot of honesty and positive body language. All those qualities are there in you. So just maintain that quality when you grow up in the career also. Certain things we wanted to tell you. You have the habit of playing with statistics. You come up with this percentage, that percentage. So statistics, if you are very sure of the percentage, then only you should rattle out those figures. Otherwise, short of that, you should stop. Because women representation in parliament, you said 9%. Go back and check.
It reduced from 14% to 9% recently.
If it is correct, it's correct. But our information says that it is 14% only. We don't know. I mean, just go back and check. Maybe what you say is correct. So you check that. But bottom line is that if you have the idea, no issues. That will add to your performance. But if you don't have the idea, then probably better to avoid. Otherwise, your structure of sentences, your thought process, the way you presented yourself, the way you spoke, what all, I should say, extraordinary quality. So you will be getting very good marks in interview. We have no doubt about that. You are from Saharanpur. Prepare your district well. We didn't ask you any questions, and I hope you must have prepared also. So prepare your district. What is happening in UP, particularly in infrastructure sector, service sector, agriculture sector? Just have a bird's eye view of all that. And otherwise, any questions you are capable of attempting in your own way, and you will do pretty well. If you have any questions to ask, feel free to ask.
Okay.
You will do well. Just have confidence in yourself.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. All the best to you.
Thank you.